I'm here with another journal that I want to make and want to show you that I made out of an old book cover. This was a really old book. I believe it was from the 1920s. I love this dark green color. It has the faded, worn look to it. It was a fabric covered journal. Not journal. It was a book, fabric covered book. Now it's a journal. And it was an old not textbook, school book. I guess that's called a textbook. I never thought of that. Anyways, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna ramble. Anyways, I'm assuming that it was a college textbook because it had all kinds of notes in it and names written in the cover and chapters to read and underlining throughout the whole thing and notes in the margins, and it was just kind of fun to look at. The book itself didn't seem that interesting. I believe it was titled Problems with Conduct, so it wasn't something that I wanted to read. So I took it apart and decided to make a journal out of it. I covered the spine with some aged coffee-dyed, what is this called? Muslin. I am just going to fumble through this today. Okay, I covered the front of it with this image that I printed from just the internet. It's a vintage image. It says play and work. Thought that was appropriate, and he's carrying, pushing a wheelbarrow with plants in it, and he's been gardening. The majority of the stuff in this book is garden or just outside relaxation type, just a place to just relax and enjoy life. Anyways, on the spine is tied a piece of this also coffee-dyed lace seam binding, and onto it I attached a charm here with the old key that I scuffed up with some sandpaper to kind of bring that brassy look back out because it was really dark. And got some beads on here and little charms. This is a little envelope and some wood beads and just pretty things, a little flower. And of course, since it's tied on, it can always be removed if you want to. I have eyelets in the front and back cover with more of this muslin tied to it that ties it closed. On the inside, front and back, I put this pretty paper that makes me think of a garden lattice, and I just attach those on the front and back cover. On the front here I have a tag that has been stamped, some lace tied on it, and this was a vintage earring that was my grandmother's. It's a rose that was blue and green. At one time the blue and green is faded, which gives it a great look. A little piece of lace sewn on here. This tag makes a little pocket. On here we just have some pattern paper, and I stamped Gentle Thoughts of You. And this was another vintage image that I printed of a seed packet. This is going to be a long, rambling video. I can just tell you already. This is a little bit of ribbon that I sewed on here that has, a measurement type thing. This in the background is tissue paper that I collaged on here. A pocket with the tag with another stamp of a rose and some twine tied on. This paper here is some vintage stationery paper. It has a watermark on it that you can barely see. It was a pale blue, and I coffee dyed it, so it gives it kind of a greenish blue tint to it, which is real pretty and fits well. More coffee dyed pages. A glassine bag with an inked and coffee dyed flash card. More patterned paper. It's been coffee dyed. An old book page. This was about Sicily. Book about Sicily. This is another old book page that was about places in Central Florida. It has lots of beautiful pictures in it of different buildings and places. This one specifically was a chapel and the adjacent courtyard, which is fitting. It's a type of garden. A little tag or clip here with just some twine tied to it, and this is just a cutout of package of paper. It says, you know, place stamp here. Just a little bit of ephemera. Another one of those images from the Florida, places in Florida. A page. A little envelope with some wood grain on it that I coffee dyed, and a tag with some lace on it. This is some fabric that I also coffee dyed and stitched on here. A little bit of ruffle. A little pin with a bead on it. The other side of the glassine bag with a little journaling card. This has some like wood grain stamped in the back of it. If you can see that. A little tuck spot made with a journaling card. A little places to journal. This has a little stamp on it of some berries. A little pattern paper. This is a large envelope that I just cut in half and put little pull spots here with big tags in it that with lots of writing space and places to put pictures. A little butterfly stamp here. And I just sewed on some of that fabric to make a little pull tag. Tea-dyed notebook paper with some like measurements type image on it. Coffee dyed paper. This was an old book page from a magazine from the 50s called Ideals. Has lots of poems and pictures and household just hints and tips and information. A little journaling card here, a nice little tuck spot. This is a coffee dyed envelope with some tulle sewn on it. In here I just tucked in another journaling card with a stamp of a bust of a lady. And this was a printout of an old receipt from a flower shop. More patterned paper with a little piece of lace sewn on it. In this pocket we have an inked tag. I inked it with some green ink because I thought it was fitting for a garden. This just has a dragonfly stamped on it. Some old sheet music. This was a book page from a book about photography, and on the back here I just collaged on a piece of dictionary page that's all about garden and garden heliotrope, gardenia, and just all kinds of garden words. It's a dictionary page, so it goes in alphabetical order. Imagine that. This is some graph paper that I coffee dyed. The other side of that photography book page, and a little deer. Sheet music. I hope I'm not mumbling. For some reason, I sound to me like I'm mumbling, and I might be. I don't know. I've been accused of that before. A little tag that I tea-dyed and put some string on the end. This was a vintage image of a flower garden advertisement. This little piece here I cut out of an old book that had an imprint of a paper clip on it, a rusty old vintage paper clip, and it left an imprint, and I liked that, so I stuck it in there. Another printout of a gazebo in this little tuck spot, the other side of that Ideals page. And this is a poem that I liked that was in that magazine. The other side of that envelope with another giant tag in it, a little bird. This little card is not actually sewn into the book. It's just tucked into this lace binding that's tied around the spine. Thought that was cute. I got this at a thrift store, a vintage card / envelope. A little tuck spot here, and then this side, just a journaling card. Some onion skin paper. I love the look and feel of that. More dictionary page, has to do with trees. This side over here, I picked it because it says sanctuary, and garden is type of sanctuary. A little flower stamped image and a little bit of transfer from the coffee dye. I like that. More of that vintage stationery. Pattern paper with a little pocket and a little, this one isn't vintage, but it's just a free printable of a bicycle. More graph paper. Lots of writing room in this book. You can write all kinds of things and places to put pictures. This just has some of that ribbon sewn on it. More of that stationery. There's a little pocket here with another just fold up journaling spot. This has a embossed design on it. Oh, I can't turn pages today. More of that dictionary page. More onion skin paper. Another thrift store find. This little card with the sun on it. I love the deckled edges on it. It's just blank with the matching envelope. And this little pocket here. And some more dictionary page. This has Dutchman's breeches. A little plant here. Thought that was fitting. A little pattern card. Or pattern paper with a card clipped on it with a little paper clip with lace. There's another one of those thrift store finds. I think I found them at the same time. A lot of these anyways. There's a great little thrift store. It's local here that has just amazing things that I have found in it. And it folds up. It has stamp place on it. There's little mailboxes. It's cute. More onion skin. Pattern paper with a pocket and a tag. It has a little note paper stamp on the back of it. And some lace. Little paper bag. Pocket with the journaling card. Butterflies. This has, it's a collage type stamp with flower and butterfly. The other side of it here with another little journaling spot. This little tiny envelope I got with an article of clothing that I bought, and it had, you know, replacement buttons in it. It is just too cute. So I inked it up and I stuck it in there with some more of that butterfly paper just to make a little tiny tag. And some pretty lace sewn on the edge there. That pattern paper. More onion skin paper. It's just a little journaling spot clipped on with a little tag that says number 1. A little pattern paper with a bird on it. And the other side of that dictionary page. And the back page here has this little clip has a postcard that I had made with one of my photographs. This is a picture of a rose that I printed out. And it has, you know, the lines for a postcard and place for a stamp. Just inked it up a little bit, make it look older. And there's the back of the book. And nothing on the back. There's the sign again. And there is Play and Work. Bye.